We've codified our existence to bring it down to human size, to make it comprehensible. We've created a scale so that we can forget its unfathomable scale.
Greetings. I am Hatshepsut, Pharaoh of Egypt. You see, I've long observed the triumphs of mankind, from the construction of temples to the gathering of great wealth. Yet there are forces within the world, once I could never control, that have led to grave consequences. And so, we come to a land far from mine, the land of Chernobyl. In the aftermath of the explosion, the once vibrant world of Chernobyl had been transformed into a silent tomb. The landscape itself seemed to mourn, as though the earth could not bear the weight of what had been unleashed. The sky, once bright and welcoming, now hung heavy with the unseen poison. Radiation that lingered creeping through the air, absorbed into every crevice. I see it in my mind, this land now desolate. The buildings, abandoned by the people who had once lived and worked there, stood hollow and broken. The streets, once filled with life, were empty, save for the wind that carried the faintest whispers of a life that had been. The soil, once fertile, now carried a deadly burden that it could not release. Those who had remained in the aftermath of the explosion, the survivors, the brave souls who had stayed behind, attempting to contain the damage, were not heroes in the way the world often sees them. They were merely men and women, ordinary in every way, now facing an enemy they could not see. Radiation is not a force that can be fought with strength or courage. It is invisible, silent and relentless. It touches the air, the ground and the water, poisoning everything it comes into contact with. And yet, still they tried. The workers who came to clear the site, to save what could be saved, were wrapped in thick layers of protection. But it did little to shield them from the invisible threat that now dominated the land. The fear they carried was not of fire or destruction, but of something far more insidious. They did not know what they were facing. How could they? The danger was unseen, an invisible hand that would take its toll over time. The government, too, was slow to respond, caught in a web of fear and denial. They did not know how to speak of the invisible poison. They did not know how to save the people who remained, for it was too late. The damage had been done. What remained was the slow, cruel ticking of a clock, marking the time until the full consequences would be known. It was not an immediate death that came to Chernobyl, but a slow and certain decay, and those who fled the area, who sought safety elsewhere, could not escape. The poison had already found its way into the air, the food and the water. Its presence was pervasive, following the wind, crossing borders, reaching far beyond the land of Chernobyl. No one could outrun it.